Let's talk. So, as you know, my name's Jupiter. This is The Trench. This is the second episode I'm filming, but it's probably going to be the first episode that you will see. It's a little bit more introductory, just like, who the fuck is this bitch? Two things first. Some of you may have known me by my old name. Please do not call me that. If it's too hard for you to call me Jupiter, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, call me Jay. Second of all, they, them exclusive. I know a lot of you perceive me as a woman. I am not. So please don't fucking project that onto me. Thank you. And yeah, this is a space where we're all going to be respectful of each other's identities, each other's ideas, as long as they're not, racist, homophobic, nothing like that. Transphobic, nothing like that. This is a place where you can discuss politics. I am a lefty. I'm not just a progressive. I'm not even just a lefty. I'm a full-blown communist. I currently align with Marxist Leninism, and in addition to that, I do align with like Pan-Africanism as well. But I need to do more research on that because I need to figure out like more of what I ascribe to. So, but yeah. With those out the way, let's get into a little bit of like what this fucking episode is. Like I just said, it's like, hey, how are ya? It's me. My birthday is in November. I'm a Sagittarius. Sagittarius sun, Aquarius rising for now. It's like from what I know, that's what I am now. Aquarius moon. So that's how you know a little bit. If you really want to know about me though, my Mars is in Virgo. But yeah, with that being said, tell me how you feel about fall. I personally love this season because, it is a season of harvest. It's a season of reaping what you've sown, whether it be you're a literal farmer or whatever you sowed at the beginning of this year, gonna get your rewards or your lessons in the coming couple months. So, who the fuck's Jupiter? Or Jupy? To describe myself in one word would probably just be like queer, because like, and I feel like a lot of people feel this way, because queerness to me is not just like, oh, I like pussy and also I don't believe in gender. Like, queer for me also means like your way of thinking is different. Like the way that you see the world compared to non-queer people is completely different. And I love that queer means weird. I love that it's just like, you're just fucking strange. And I do feel often like fucking strange. And the people that I'm friends with are like kind of strange. Like to like normies or whatever, we're weird. We have, strange interests, strange behaviors, whatever. I exist outside of a lot of boundaries that people try to put me in. Like I'm perceived as like a black woman. And so people, they try to think that they know what, and they do this with other demographics and people have different identities as well. People try and act like they know who you are and what you like, and they think they know you like your whole life story because of your identities. Particularly when I lived in New York, this would happen a lot because classism is just like way worse there compared to like where I live. Racism is bad here so I am in the South. So like, racism obviously is bad here, but up there it's the combination of racism and classism that is just like, it's so much. And a lot of people would assume I was like poor from the projects, all this other shit, even when I was like dressed nicely or whatever, just because I'm black. Or they would just assume that they knew what I liked, just everything I just said. Just it's strange, and it makes me feel like I don't know who I am because everybody's telling me who I am and I don't fit those things. And I feel like a lot of other queer people feel like that. It's just like, everybody's saying I'm supposed to be this and I'm not. And it's like, what do I do about that? Is there anything to do about that? The answer is no. No, it's not fun. It's not fun. So I harbor same-sex attraction, right? But I don't believe or participate in a gender binary, because that shit only exists to oppress. So I am also gender queer. That's kind of the like gender I picked because I had queer in it mostly, because I was just like, yeah, I'm queer, dude. I am gender queer. That is my gender identity specifically. And I don't even fully know yet what that means for me. All I know is that the gender binary doesn't exist and I don't feed into it. Period. And you can't make me. I'm pansexual, or at least that's how I'm identifying as right now. I'm kind of leaning on being a lesbian. I don't know, just because especially my emotional attraction is pretty exclusive to women, non-binary people. So, and then in addition to just like my gender identity in the mix with that, I think I might align a little bit more with lesbianism than I once thought. But it also, there's a lot of fear around the word lesbian. A lot of people are afraid to call themselves a lesbian or like use that word. The word lesbian does not, lesbian. It's a word that doesn't get used the way that gay is just accepted. No, and that's fucked. That's fucked. I'm also polyamorous. So, you know, just me, and I'm going to start rolling up a blunt. Yeah, I'm polyamorous. I have a lot of love to give, is the way I like to put that, is just like, I have a lot of love to give in addition to the fact that I believe that monogamous relationships have a lot to do with capitalism. There's a lot of capitalism in monogamous relationships. Yes, I am smoking a game green. I'm a weirdo. Fuck you. The whole idea of I'm mine, or not I'm mine, you are yours. The whole idea of you're mine, that's always kind of weirded me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cause I don't want to belong to anyone, personally. I have people that I like to spend time with, and I have people that I love, but I don't belong to anybody besides myself. And even then, like, I don't even like really saying that, cause it's like, what does that really mean? Like, I don't belong to anyone. I'm just here. We're all just here. If there's anything we belong to, it's like our bosses, if you have one. That leads me to my next point, because this has become a major part of my identity, low-key. I'm unemployed. That's kind of ASMR. It's kind of nice. If you would be into weed ASMR, let me know, because I will totally do it. But yeah, we're also smoking on some Cindy 99, baby. This is a really nice strain. Yeah, it just has a lot of capitalism in it. A lot of remnants of, not remnants, it's like it is capitalism, but just put into our interpersonal relationships. And it makes us act really fucking weird. It makes us do things that are not actually natural to, like, they're just not natural, honestly. I don't believe that monogamy is natural, personally. What other, I mean, like, besides like swans, I think, who else just stays with the same person forever? Stays with the same person, has sex with the same person, is emotionally involved with the same person forever. That is like not a thing in any other species. And it's honestly not even a thing for humans. But the thing is, we put up these boundaries that end up just leading to us all getting hurt. Another thing on this channel, you're gonna see me smoke a whole bunch of weed. For sure. I love marijuana. I personally believe that weed can be another way of getting in touch with the earth, because it grows out the ground. Another fun fact about me, I do the craft. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I'm a baby with it though. You know, I just do a lot of manifestations, working with crystals, smudging, just a lot of intention setting for now is mostly what I'm into. I'm starting to get into different communities of people that also, you know, practice the craft, and it's really exciting. It's a really exciting time in my life, because I think I'm having a bit of a spiritual awakening. I'm going fucking through it, is really what I mean. It feels good. Like, I feel myself snake skinning again, is what I'll say. Just like shedding off whatever the fuck was on me before, and I like it. I'm gonna take a pause here a little bit. I can also do videos on like teaching you how to roll, even though nobody fucking smokes Rillos anymore. So I would probably be teaching a whole bunch of like 18-year-olds how to smoke weed. But that's cool too. If you're over 15, you can be here. That is another thing that I did not bring up. If you're younger than like 15, and even then that's sus, I need you to go, because we're going to be talking about things that I just don't necessarily want to expose you to yet, including like what I just said about the craft. Like, you know, there are some young witches, but like, I you know, just be careful. I'm 21 and I'm just getting involved with the shit, and I have to be very careful. Another thing about me, I'm a very like spiritual person. I'm not religious. I'm agnostic. I do believe that there is something up there. And just, this is a religion safe space. Like, you know, obviously don't force your ways on anyone, but this is a religion safe space. Like, don't think that you can't speak about like Rosh Hashanah or Eid or any other celebration that you have, or anything about your culture or your religion that is important to you. Because like, That is not what we're about here. We're about acceptance. But yeah, now that we've talked about who I am, I can talk a little bit more about the spiritual awakening. I've had a bit of depersonalization, which just means like it's when like nothing really feels real. And then we could get into psychology and talk about what does real even mean. That's another thing we can do. I love talking philosophy. I love talking about the metaphysical. I love what ifing. Like, let's get creative. I've been having a lot of clarity, like a shit ton of clarity. Like, the reason I'm doing this video is because of the recent clarity I have gained. Because I realized, I was like, isn't it kind of pretentious that anybody, to assume that these people give a shit enough about your opinion or like your research and stuff to start off your channel by doing a video essay? Because it's a little bit pretentious to be like, yeah, they want to hear me talk about Amazon. Look, we have a plan. But yeah, I think a lot of us, like, we're waking the fuck up as a collective. People were saying we're waking the fuck up before. No, we're waking up now. Nobody has ever seen anything like the shit we are currently seeing. Nobody has seen what we're currently seeing. And it both scares and invigorates me as a human being alive on this earth during this time. I see a lot of pain. I feel a lot of the pain of the planet. Whether it be like the fucking protesters on the ground. I've been one of them before. That shit is fucking hard and it's getting scarier and harder every day. Or it be the people that are like listening on the police radio, people who are doing jail support. Whether we're talking about the pain of the literal earth, like the literal planet Earth, we can all feel that. I guarantee every single one of us can feel the Earth's pain. Also, if you don't believe in climate change, get off my page. But I don't have to tell y'all that it's a time. I definitely don't have to tell y'all that it's a time. So like I said before, I'm like a nature craft person. I really like working with stones and stuff. So I've made the decision to kind of have like stones of the episode. Today we have fluorite. I'll take a close-up of this baby. She's fucking gorgeous. I don't know if you can see how beautiful this rock is, dude, but ethereal. Fluorite helps with being calm, like calming the fuck down, calming your heart. It's good for heartbreak, and healing your heart chakra. And over here we have sodalite, 2 ites today. Sodalite is about authenticity, making sure that you're being real. And I want to be as real with y'all as possible. I hope y'all are as real with me as possible. So this is like kind of a story time now. So I moved to New York about 3 years ago, right? 2 or 3 years ago, as of like last month. As of 2 months ago. Originally for school, because I wanted to get out of my home state and get into a place where people didn't really know me. Like the only person I really knew was my grandmother and a few other family members. Other than that, like nobody knew who I was, and I was free to make new friends and be whoever the fuck I wanted. Nobody could project their idea of me on me because they don't know my name. They don't know who the fuck I am. So I went to community college in New York at Borough of Manhattan Community College, right by the World Trade Center and down in Tribeca, and actually had a great time. BMCC is awesome. Like if you're up in New York, or if you're considering moving, or you're considering a community college or something, BMCC is very affordable, and you'll get professors that work at like Pace and stuff, like that work at good, better, schools. I know Ivy Leagues have the prestige and the networking and stuff, but community colleges actually like support you as a student. And that is the big difference. So BMCC was awesome, but I kind of found that I just didn't really have a desire to be in the university system anymore. And not to mention, I just like didn't have money, and I did not want to keep taking out loans. I'm already $15,000 in debt, and that's low compared to most people. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not paying that shit off. I don't know, I'm not gonna ever have a spare 15 grand to give to these people. And on top of that, I was like, some of the advisement I got was not great, and I was having to take repeat classes. I'm just like, this is bullshit. Like, I don't have tolerance for this. So I dropped out in January of this year. I made the final decision to not register for any classes, not continue, not take out a loan, nothing, not doing anything because I didn't want to do it anymore, and also I got a really good promotion at my job at the time, and I was like, yo, this job has me set. But I worked for a big environmental group. I did fundraising for them. I started that job while in New York. I was working at a grocery store at first. When I first got there, for the first, like, I worked at that grocery store from July to December after I had gotten there in July. But yeah, I got my new job and then started that job in December, started fundraising and doing like the base level position, then moved up to being a manager basically, then moved up again to a completely different job where I was working on campaigns and like basically like a campaign liaison. And it was really cool. It was a really cool fucking job. I miss my last position a lot. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if I did it again. I am not in the mental or emotional state, honestly, to literally have a job. Like, I'm just not. And it's not even just because, like, I'm not used to it. It's like I'm literally not, I'm not in the state to continue that career path right now. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this. That's why I'm here. Because I'm like, I haven't been able to create. I think that's the problem. I haven't created anything. I've just been working for someone for 2 years. For like 2 or 3 years, I've just been working for someone, you know, and I haven't been able to. It's not like when I was in high school, right? Where I had a job. I worked at like Burger King and shit, and I did have to go to school, but I got to play music every single day. I got to play my bass every day, you know, and sometimes multiple times a day. I would have orchestra class, then I would have jazz band, then I would have something else, you know, and I took that for granted. Because now I don't even have a bass. But it's another story for another fucking day. So I got furloughed from that job after COVID hit. And, you know, furloughed essentially means, like, you're not laid off, but your job is on hold and we're not paying you. And it's an unpaid furlough because you can have paid furloughs. But I got furloughed for that job due to COVID. I am now laid off from that job due to COVID as of September 2nd. Do you ever think about the fact that you've lived through 2 recessions? Because I do. So, funny story. Right after I got furloughed, like right after I got the call or like was on the mass call that they did, very corporate of them, I took a whole bunch of dishware in my apartment in Brooklyn and I put it in a bag. I asked my roommates, are any of you attached? My 7 roommates, are any of you attached to any of these dishes? I'm gonna break them. And I went outside on my stoop and I smashed plates and dishes like in silence. Didn't say shit, just because I was so fucking angry. I was so fucking angry because I had planned for this job to basically like kickstart my career. It's a major reason why I dropped out of school. I was like, I don't really need this because I'm gonna have a kick-ass resume because I worked for this place. And I'm like, I don't even want to stay at this place forever. I'm actually looking for my next move currently, but like, yeah. And then the other thing after I got furloughed is that I could not find a job to save my fucking life. Even with the kick-ass resume that I do have, like I do have a kick-ass resume, I could not find a job doing the exact same thing I was doing, which was doing campaigns. Could not find a job. Now, I consider that a sign from my, like, spirit guides in the universe and shit that's like, you don't need a job. And I don't. I really don't. I am fortunate enough to be receiving unemployment benefits because they furloughed me and I didn't quit or anything. Thank God. So I am, like, surviving. You know, like, I'm fine. I'm eating. Like, you know, I'm here. But having that little bit of financial strain, too, has also helped me, you know, just, like, resort my priorities. And not having a job has been like, okay, so now that you're not working and your life isn't about work. Oh, I gotta fucking get up at 6 to go to work, you know. One thing I will say, I was kind of sad because like I was on a really good regimen of like, wake up at 5:30 in the morning, get on the train, go do yoga, go to work, go home, like, and like I was on a really good schedule, and then COVID said, no, fuck you. And I think a lot of people relate to that as well. But yeah, so Couldn't find a job to save my fucking life. I was like, there's no way I'm going back to school right now. Like, no. For those of you that are currently in school, kudos. Absolutely kudos. I'm proud of every single one of you. Knew I couldn't go back to school. Didn't have a desire to go back to school. And then on top of that, I was forced to rent strike. Me and quite a few other of my roommates. Our rent strike failed because our white upstairs neighbors, it's a 2-unit apartment. It's a brownstone. There's us in the downstairs. There's the rest of them upstairs. So mostly white people upstairs with the exception of one black man, and we know they're the weakest link. One black man, and like lots of white women. So like lots of white female energy, which like, sorry if you're like a white girl and you're like, what the fuck do you mean? But like, white women y'all have a thing. The double combination of innocence of being white and abusing the perceived weakness of femininity, dangerous. Too many people have died. I have been accused of rape because of like the way white women are. Essentially, my white upstairs neighbors got us kicked out because they have guarantors. None of us have guarantors. Which if you don't know what a guarantor is, it's basically somebody that promises your landlord, guarantees your landlord that if the actual tenant does not pay rent, that guarantor agrees to like go to court about it, get sued, it shows up on their credit, and as well as like paying the rent and any court fees and stuff like that. So they have those from like their parents, basically meaning these people have generational wealth. At least like 3 people up there have access to generational wealth. All of us downstairs do not have guarantors. We work, we pay our own rent. We pay our own rent, and like there's nobody backing us up. We would just get evicted. So they basically chose to concede and make a deal with our landlord company. And the day that our essentially eviction notice, our vacate notice is dated, is like the day that they let us know that they conceded with the landlords. So yeah, fuck upstairs. So yeah, that happened, and I was basically forced out of New York City and to go back to my hometown, but the city of my hometown, so that's a little bit better. Or my home state, I'm sorry. And I'm still glad I'm here. But, whatchamacallit, I was forced to go back because I was like, dude, I cannot find a job or a place here. Like, there's no lane for me, basically. There's no lane. Maybe later. Maybe I'll go back to New York. I don't know. We'll see. I'll definitely visit. But I don't know when or if I'll like live there again. Probably won't live there again, actually. Because living in New York is a trip. But that pushed me out of New York and got me back here. And the really fucked up thing about when I was about to move was my unemployment benefits lapsed because I used a VPN when I was certifying 1 week, and then they were like, who the fuck are you, or where the fuck are you, and cut my employment benefits off for like 3 months. I just got those shits back like last month. And I had no job, so I had to start a GoFundMe, which is like one of the links in the link tree. Shameless plug. Because, like, y'all should still be giving me money. I still don't have any income. Unemployment could get fucked up at any moment. I'll be real with you. It's taken me a lot of money to get to the point that I'm at. Like, life is so fucking expensive. But I'm in a really good place. So that's awesome. I'm in a place where, like, I manifested this home that I live in. I live in a house now. I no longer live in an apartment with 7 people. I live in a house with one other person. And we have a fucking basement that we don't use yet, but it's happening. We're doing it. We have a porch. We have a gorgeous backyard. Our porch is nice and shady. Our backyard is nice and shady. We're high up. We can see everything in our house. We have 3 beautiful oak trees on this property. I don't own it. I rent it, but you know, it's a property, I guess. It's just beautiful. It's so compartmentalized. Like, there's a dining room, a kitchen, a living room. Me and Cosma have our own bathrooms. Like, and for such a small space, like, you wouldn't be surprised for there to only be 1 bathroom in this place. Yeah, when I think about, like, my life now, I still get really happy. Like, I'm pleased to, like, spend so much time in my home and I'm excited to remake it. And you're gonna be getting videos of me like painting up the house and like me and Cosma like doing shit. I don't know. You're like, y'all are gonna get it all. Y'all are gonna get it all. And I'm sorry I haven't been vlogging more, honestly. I probably should have been vlogging from the jump, but for now they'll just be story times. Whatchamacallit? Oh, I got a job for a week. Since I moved, I got a job as a waiter for a week and got fired. That will be another story. If you know, you're like, if you know about that story, you're like, oh my God. But honestly, that story is another lesson on capitalism and like, it's a whole bunch of shit, and we're gonna get into it. But yeah, I had that job for a week, and yeah, it's been a fucking ride. It's been a ride in so many ways. Some of them I can't even say on camera, or on mic. And there'll be more stories about that later. But I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with everything. I've been doing meditations with my grounding stones lately that say, like, where I say to myself, all is well in my world, over and over and over again. Not that got really deep. I didn't even mean for this video to get this, or this like episode to like get this deep. I want to plug my crystal plug. Chakra Zulu. They're based down in Tampa. Their in-store shop is currently not open if you were interested in going in-store and you're in Florida, but they are available online. They sell out pretty fast, so like follow them on Instagram. I'll put their Instagram right here. Is that no space? And you guys check them out. Shout out to this fucking sodalite and this fluorite for giving me clarity and like letting me be vulnerable to lots of people. I just got a little bit nauseous thinking about that, but no, I'm sure other people will appreciate me being so real. This has been Jupiter. This has been The Trench. Thank you for getting deep with me. I hope your day is full of splendor, and I'll see you all later. I've seen 444 throughout this entire video, and I think that's a really good sign. Yeah, peace and love, friends.